welcome to another episode of the Philosophy Podcast. I am your host, Controversy, and to my right, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, none other than Mr.
Darren Love.
And together, we are the Philosophy Podcast. Thank you to you guys for tuning in to a brand new episode. Thank you for tuning in once again this week, guys. And like we always say, what is on the agenda for this week, mate? What is today's
hot topic?
What's today's hot topic, mate?
I thought we'd talk about confidence today.
Confidence?
Yeah, confidence, you know. Like,
Oh, very good. I like that.
What is it, you know? What is confidence?
So this week, we're talking all about
Confidence.
that's it. What are your thoughts and your opinions, mate?
Well, some people got more confidence than others, haven't they?
Like that, that's true. Very, very true.
And, I mean, even I'm not confident in everything.
Same.
Like, you know,
same.
like for instance, if I get on the ice, I'm not very good.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so I know that I'm not going to impress anyone for sure, if you see what I mean. So.
You know your strengths and your weaknesses.
Yeah, you kind of know what you're confident at and what you're not, in the kind of way.
Yeah. The more knowledgeable about something, or the more you've done something, the more confident you are, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
The more you understand something, or the more you've done it repeatedly, let's say it's a task, then yeah, that's how you build confidence, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. I mean, can you cook dinner for 8 people, say?
Oh yeah, I could.
I could, you know, I'm quite confident I could. I mean,
But,
I've done it before.
but cooking for 50
I'm confident.
is a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is not in terms of quality, because I think I could still produce very nice food, but it's quantity. A chef who's worked in the army or any of these type of places, kind of say for example, on a ship, like a navy ship or whatever, that are used to cooking for large amounts of people. You know, I mean, obviously there's not just one, obviously, because it's a lot of people. But they understand quantities, if you see what I mean, in terms of what do they need to produce in order to feed 50, or in comparison to 200, if you see what I mean. I think the average person that is not used to that is a bit harder. You can guesstimate, as they would say.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah. There's a different level of confidence in it. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty good at cooking for my own independence, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I would sort of like be able to impress, sort of like, say I started I had a new job in a restaurant, and I had to cook for people and all this, and sort of try to give them good food and that. I don't think I'd be that good, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a professional cook, but
But you could become.
I'm happy. Well, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I know. Do you know what I mean about cooking? You see, I don't really want to become a professional cook.
Yeah.
In a funny way, you know. I'm just
Yeah.
happy with what I know. I mean, I can cook beans on toast, egg on toast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chips I can do.
But there are, I honestly
I can
believe
make
that
pancakes.
there are some basic, even if you can't cook a real, I know we're not really talking about cooking, but because we're talking about confidence and how it corresponds to that, you should be able to prepare at least something basic. Even if you can't cook an elaborate meal, like, you know, you should be able to, like you said, you should be able to make the basic things like scrambled eggs on toast, or beans on toast, or be able to fry some bacon so you can make a bacon sandwich if you eat, you know, of course, eat that kind of thing. So yeah, it's, you know, it's, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been cooking for a number of years now, you know, I'm quite old now, you know, so, I mean, I've learned how to cook pancakes, you know, and it's really sort of like, if you want to learn more, you can, can't you, yeah?
It's up to you, yeah.
You know, cooking is just one thing,
Yeah.
isn't it, you know, out of many things.
Hundreds, thousands.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, like, really, walking's another thing. Are you confident that you can walk many miles, you know, maybe up a mountain or something, you know?
Yeah, and that also, in terms of confidence, that also depends on your health. You know, how fit are you? All these factors come into play when it comes to like determining whether or not you could do these things. Say for example, like me and you, we're not going to go and attempt to climb Mount Everest tomorrow.
No.
Because one, we aren't fit enough. That's the first thing. Our fitness level, let's be honest, just being honest.
I'm pretty strong, but I don't think I'd do that, no.
We're not fit as in terms of being able to do that tomorrow, if you see what I mean. Give us a couple of months to prepare and train and get our physical fitness up, then fine. But if we were to go and attempt that tomorrow, in our current, not saying that we're unfit, but we're not as you know.
Well, let's put it this way: if you
that optimum type of fitness, you know.
let's put it this way: if you ask me, shall we go on holiday next week?
Mm.
You know, climb that, Mount Everest. I'd say no.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Mm. Let's go to Nepal, mate.
I'd say no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can come down. I can easily get down, but not up.
Well, I think getting down might just be just as hard, probably, mate.
Zip wire. It's easy. It's easy.
Zip wire.
I've done it. It's easy.
Zip wires are good. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you call it?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
What do you call it?
Yeah, zip wire. Yeah.
No, when you walk down the mountain on a rope, it's not a zip wire, is it?
There is a word for it, but I can't remember the name for it. But there is a word. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone out of my head now.
It's not something as simple as mountain.
It's not bungee jumping, is it?
No, and it's not something as simple as mountain climbing either. There is a word for it, literally, like you're saying, walking up or down, mountains with a.
See, I personally wouldn't do that one, bungee jumping.
No.
I wouldn't have the confidence.
Would you jump out of a plane?
No.
With someone.
Not even a parachute.
Someone with you with a parachute. No. No, I don't think I would either.
It's risking my life, you see, and I'm not confident enough to do that. You see.
Same.
I feel like my life is too precious.
Yeah, I agree.
In a kind of way, and if you're going to risk things like that, it could go wrong.
Oh yeah.
And it does go wrong.
It does a lot.
So some of those people don't make it. They take these risks. They really don't.
Yeah.
And I just wouldn't do it. Because.
I heard this horror story like that, not to get too far off topic, but I heard a horror story about this a few months ago, probably about 6 months ago now actually. This couple went on holiday and they were used to doing all these adventurous things and kind of dangerous, activities and, adrenaline based kind of sports and all that kind of thing. And they went and did this bungee jumping thing. And I can't remember which country they were in. I think it was Thailand, but I might be wrong, but I think it was Thailand. And basically, they were used to doing these activities together. So the husband and wife were about to do their jump or whatever, with the people around them all strapped up, everything. And the wife, usually the husband would go first, but the wife said, for some reason around, this is what he said anyway, this is what the husband said. He said that he would normally jump first whenever they did these kind of things, and she would kind of follow him, and he would kind of help her with her confidence, in terms of following through with doing the activity. If he did it first, it would kind of help her. So he would usually go first. But this time around, she decided, because she'd done it a few times, she was feeling really confident, and she wanted to go first this time. I guess she was trying to impress him or whatever, I guess. And basically, they would, she was all strapped in and everything, as she was supposed to be, like normal, like everyone else. And they were playing, and he jokingly kind of like pushed her, to basically make her do her jump, basically. She was all connected safely as she was supposed to be, even though he pushed her, it was supposed to be safe, if you see what I mean. He was just, just pissing about and just kind of helped her off the edge kind of thing. So just, oh, go on, just do it kind of thing. But as soon as she went, the rope snapped. Halfway, literally, she got about she was halfway between, in the air, in the ground, and the rope snapped. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was absolutely it.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone's devastated. Camera went off. Not long after that, because someone was recording it for them.
Well, it's no joke when it goes wrong, really, is it?
No. And that was horrific. So I doubt he might ever have the confidence to do something like that again. After experiencing such a traumatic loss and seeing something like that, seeing, the fact that something can go wrong.
Well, it's like typewriter, going across.
Oh, yeah.
I'd never do it. I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd do it even if it was 2 foot high.
Yeah.
See what I mean? I don't think I'd do it, it's just something, I haven't got the confidence in that. Do you know what I mean? Especially, I'm not scared of heights in a funny way.
Yeah.
Because I can go up a ladder. Well, I've worked on the roofs before a little bit. But I think if I feel that I'm not safe, that's when I panic.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't like it when I'm high up. I get a funny feeling,
Yeah, same.
It's quite weird.
I'm not scared of heights.
Especially when there's no scaffolding around to hold on to or anything, I think, ooh.
Yeah, same.
I get like a funny...
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not particularly scared of heights, but I Yeah, I'm the same. And if I'm up too high, I'm the type of person, well, just like any other sensible person, I guess, I stay away from the edge as far as possible, away from, you know what I mean, death, essentially, you know.
It don't even entertain me actually.
I think I spoke about it in one of our recent episodes as well, so I won't expound on it too much, but I think we spoke about it as well, briefly. Um, there was this guy that basically had a huge following on Instagram and TikTok and other platforms, whatever. And he was this young guy, and basically what he would do is climb all these very, very tall buildings in the world. He would travel and climb all these extremely tall buildings without any safety equipment. And his goal was literally to climb all these buildings and go right up to the top and use his GoPro camera and his, the stick that you have, I can't remember that, the selfie stick or whatever they call it, to hold the camera. And he'd be up at the top of these mountains, taking a nice photo, nice video, and sharing it. And of course, because it was so extreme and so dangerous, it would get a lot of clicks. That was his thing. That was his niche. Obviously, very dangerous. But I think about a month ago, he had a fall too. After completing all these various different missions and buildings that he set out to climb, and he did it all. You know what I mean? He went to do this other building, and something went wrong. Something happened. He got up to the top, and I don't know if it's the wind was too strong or something just, he lost his footing. I don't know what it was, but he's gone too. Literally fell to his death because obviously he was doing it without any safety equipment, nothing.
And he was pretty confident in what he was doing.
And he was confident because he'd done it many, many times. It wasn't his first rodeo, as they would say. He was.
I mean, I think that's the other thing. You can be overconfident, can't you?
True. Yeah. Too much pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're being a bit cocky about it, I think, and you sort of like, you can do it, but other people can't, in a funny way.
Yeah.
And you think you're better than everyone else, in a kind of way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's usually when people end up losing and going wrong. Especially like if you're one of these superstar athletes or sports people. That usually tends to be when they have a bad day, when they're being too boastful and egotistical and prideful, and usually end up having a shit game, or and it kind of helps to bring them back down to reality in a little way. It kind of humbles them a little bit, doesn't it? In a way, sometimes, So,
I mean, another thing you've got to be really. I mean, I've not always been. When I left school, I wasn't really confident with girls or women.
Yeah.
Partly maybe because I didn't have a sister.
Okay.
Or, there's a number of reasons really, isn't there? But I think, I wasn't shy of girls, that's for sure. I think it's just because I just lacked confidence when I was a bit younger. I've spoken in previous episodes before that I was really slung down the bottom set, really.
Yeah.
I couldn't read or write very well,
Yeah.
for a number of reasons. I'm going to admit that, but now I've caught up on that, So I feel like I'm more advanced than most people that can read and write now. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, back then I was put down in the bottom set, and this is in the senior schools because they didn't separate children like that in the juniors or the infants. It's only when you went to the seniors. They had 7 different sets and they separated you. One top, which my brother, funny enough, was in the top set.
Oh wow. Okay.
All the 4 years, so he's getting all the praise by all my family, where I'm getting nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it kind of like knocked my confidence flying. I didn't want to be in there. I felt too intelligent to be in there for one. See, so I was a very angry child in a kind of way that I was slung down, right down the bottom set where everyone takes the mickey out of you, basically.
Of course, yeah.
But I mean, I knew that nobody would take the mickey out of me because they knew that I could handle myself, I think. You know what I mean? They knew that I was pretty strong because that's another thing, when you get into a little bit of a fight with some of the things and you win, word of mouth comes around, the schools, older, it's like that, isn't it? It's a bit of a competition about fighting and who's strong and who's hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things, I think that's part of school.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. It is, yeah.
But yeah, I lack confidence, because of that reason, really. That I couldn't read or write. It really destroyed my confidence big time, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I can remember it now.
Yeah.
And I just want confidence, like most other men or boys at that time, with girls.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did get a girlfriend eventually, whatever, when I was 16. But still, I don't feel like I was confident like most people were with women and all that. You know, I didn't, like I said, I didn't have a sister. So, I mean, I think like if you're brought up with a sister, you kind of sort of like understand girls a bit more.
Yeah. So like, I must say that I grew up in an all-female household.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was the only man, I was the only boy, and then only man in the house. You know what I mean, for most of my life. I had, you know, my mum and my two sisters. You know, I've got an older one. You know, I'm in the middle. And I must say, it definitely helped me to, growing up around all women helped me to, definitely helps you to understand women more, for sure. And teaches you a lot about women as well, how to treat a woman. Because you obviously, you know, you hear, as you're growing up, you know, young, and you get older and what, you hear, you know, you hear your mum and okay, because my oldest sister's 5 years older than me. So when I was only 13, let's say, in my, you know, young teens, just become a teenager, she was already 18, a grown woman almost, you know, an adult. And I remember being young and being around my mum and my sisters and hearing them talk and about their relationships and other things and bits. And it really taught me a lot about women and how to treat women and understanding women as a man. And don't get me wrong, I don't think either sexes ever fully understand each other, because we're just different, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's just the way it is.
It's true.
But excuse me. But it did give me a lot of insight and perspective, let's say, into women, you know, into understanding them, you know, what makes them tick and what makes them happy, and you know how you know, the type of man they look for, you know what I mean, you know, in terms of a good man, and all those kind of things, like the characteristics, you know, and all that type of shit. So that really gave me insight into, you know, my relationships with women as I got older, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I think it does help, like you said, it does give you confidence, you know. So.
I mean, like I've said before, you know, I have had quite a few relationships, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, including my 13-year relationship with my ex-wife.
With your wife, yeah.
Girlfriend before that was 3 years, and then I had a girlfriend afterwards, that was 4.5 years, and then I had a girlfriend after that for 2 years, you know. It's been a bit like that, you know, with me.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've had probably about 15 relationships since leaving school.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I didn't have any confidence when I left school, but I've had quite a number of different relationships, you know, and different experiences really, you know, because I think like everyone's different. You know, when you meet a woman, you know, they're a little bit different. You know, they're a bit the same, you know, because they've got the same sort of body and, you know, but they're a bit different in what they like, what they enjoy, what music they like, what they eat, you know, and so on.
Yeah.
And yeah, just a little bit different. But we're talking about confidence, you know, that is, you know,
all these things come under the umbrella, don't they?
It does, doesn't it? You know, you have got to learn how to be confident in yourself, haven't you?
Yeah.
In anything, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
That's one of the keys to gaining success in life.
Yeah.
In any area or any aspect of your life, confidence, self-belief, I guess they will call it. Self-belief, yeah, is confidence. You know, having that belief within yourself that you can achieve what you set out to achieve, whatever it may be. You know.
Well, it's no good when other people are in charge of your life. And I mean, I think that's the case in many people's life. You know, that it's like my life, for instance, at the moment. You know, like I said, I've been married and all that, and I had a number of girlfriends, but today I'm free of all that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just have to look after myself, and I've got no one telling me what to do anymore. You know, and it's quite a nice feeling actually. I've really sort of like, after a pretty busy life of having a number of families really, or whatever.
Yeah.
And moving around to house, whatever, all my life.
Yeah.
And just settling down now, and starting to sort of appreciate really sort of, you know, like doing things that I enjoy, sort of living independently without anyone destroying that around me or getting in the way of what I enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like when you do start having a relationship, or even when you're living with someone, you have to give up a lot in a funny way. Depending, you know, but
quite a lot of compromises.
I just enjoy, you know, like some people hate living alone or they feel lonely.
Yeah.
But I feel like at last I'm lonely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I feel like. At last I've escaped from what, you know, like even when I was younger, yeah, I was living with my brother, which who I love, whatever, you
Of
know,
course,
but,
yeah.
you know, living with my mum, you know, but even me and my mum were having arguments back then, you know, I was a teenager, you know, and back then, you know, I was a bit bossy or didn't really know. I was talking to my mum a bit rudely, let's put it that way.
Yeah,
You know,
which is never
well,
nice.
I've
Yeah.
learned better now, do you know what I mean?
Of
You know, I
course,
mean,
yeah.
most children are like and they just do not appreciate what they got,
Yeah.
or they don't really, you know, it takes time, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, to mature. Yeah.
You know, so.
To gain understanding. I'm the same though, because I remember when I got to me and my mum. In all honesty, when I got into when I was young and like in the streets and that, like living a certain life and doing certain things, like I remember me and my mum's relationship wasn't good for many years. If you see what I mean, it was okay, but there was always that thing in the back of my mind is that I knew she was always worrying about me, or you know, I kind of think to myself, I don't know really kind of like how she really looked at me, if you see what I mean, because she knew that I was, you know, in the streets and living a certain life, and it made me wonder if she ever, you know, how she used to judge me, if you see what I mean, that kind of thing. And I remember same thing, being young and having a few arguments with my mum about certain things and you know whatever. And I remember even when I got to about maybe 19, 20, and I started like changing as a person and growing and maturing and evolving at a very fast rate, and mentally and otherwise. And I remember even one day sitting down with my mum and saying to her, "Listen, I'm sorry." And I remember saying to her, like, "I'm truly sorry for all the heartache, all the pain, all the suffering, all the things that I put you through, all the worry, getting locked up, you know, all sorts of shit, like, you know." I remember one time she said to me, like, she used to, every night she would wonder if I was coming home, like, if I would make it home. And I remember when she said that to me one day, mate, it really struck a chord with me. Like, I remember her, I never thought about it like that, you know what I mean? Because you're young and you just, you know, impulsive and spontaneous, and in the moment with your boys having fun and living life and women and money and, you know.
You don't really think about your mum worrying about you.
Exactly, and I remember she said to me one time, as I got older, I remember she said to me, I used to worry whether or not you would actually come home. She said I used to always put the phone next to the bed and I'd never switch it off.
Well, now you're older, you can see, can you, why?
Of course, yeah,
the world we're living in, you know, it's quite a dangerous world we're living in, really. And
yeah.
I don't think when you're younger, you're not aware really how really dangerous it really is, you know.
It's true.
How seriously dangerous it is, you know, like gangsters around, all this kind of stuff world we're living in.
But that was kind of the kind of environment that I kind of, as we've spoken about many times, kind of environment that I grew up in too. And I remember her saying to me, she did say to me that one time, she said I used to sleep with the phone next to my bed and not turn it off because I'd worry that I would get a phone call.
Yeah.
She said I would always worry that I'd get a phone call, that it'd be something that I don't want to hear, some bad news or something, you know. And that really struck me. After that, that was at the beginning stages of my, you know, changes and that, you know. But going back to why the reason I'm talking about it is because I had to have confidence. Even when I come back over here, like I moved from the Caribbean. I was born in the UK, but I left at 2 years old, lived in the Caribbean until I was almost 20 years old. And that's all I've ever known. Come back here when I was 20 years old. I was already working, already started having a life for myself there. You know, wanted to move out of my mum's house, get my own place and do all these things. Like, you know, I've been saving and had the money and building my own life. And then when everything changed and I had to come back here, I had to have a lot of confidence to you know, to get in a job and a completely different environment. I don't know anyone, didn't have any friends, only got a few family members, you know. Don't know where I am, don't know the environment, if you see what I mean. You know, don't have any connections for a job or where to start and all these things. I remember when
I think we're all in the same boat.
Oh, for sure. A lot of us experience that. A lot of people experience that in life when they immigrate to different countries. But I'm just saying it does take a lot of confidence. You know, you have to have confidence within yourself that you can make it work. You can do it. You know, that's what I did. You know. So.
I mean, it's like when I left school, It's not like I had any help
Yeah.
or anything. It's kind of like I'm on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a shame, really, because I think like every child should get help, you know, into good jobs as soon as they leave school, guaranteed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the government. That's what I think. No
Yeah.
matter who you are, you know, guaranteed work. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Anyone that has to give up a large majority of their life in order to earn a living and provide should be compensated accordingly for it. Because essentially that's what they're paying you for, is your time. So it's how much is your time worth, essentially, if you see what I mean. So this whole minimum, I honestly believe if we are going to have a construct and a society where we have a minimum wage, then the minimum wage has to be above the, you know, the cost of living, if you see what I mean. People shouldn't be having to work. There are some people out there right every day, loads of people every day, large majority of the population, unfortunately, working 50, 60 hours a week and still struggling to survive, to pay all their bills and otherwise. And that's just, that's awful. You know, it's absolutely terrible. You know, we need to live in a society where, yeah, if you're going to have a minimum wage, I understand some jobs are less paid than others. That's just the way society works and how life goes, how it all works. But at the same time, you still need to pay people enough so that they can live a decent life. You know, why should they sacrifice most of their life working for you and can't even afford to have 1 or 2 holidays a year, or you know, or you know, worrying about putting food in their fridge and shit like that, being able to provide for their family. You know, that's awful.
What I personally believe is what's really gone wrong, I feel, is like you've got a minimum wage, but you just got no maximum wage. You know, and I think that's the thing that, like, if you put a maximum wage, say £20 an hour or £30 an hour, even, something like that.
Yeah.
Maximum wage is what I think's missing from the missing link. You know, because it sort of like stops people getting super rich.
Yeah.
It puts a bit of a control on everyone. You know, I just can't explain it. You know, but I just feel like if they put a maximum wage on, it would govern everyone.
Yeah.
If you're with me, into place. Into, you know, like some people would be better off, and I know that like some people deserve more money.
Yeah.
Than other people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying £30 should be the maximum. Maybe it should be a bit more than that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
You know, £50, maybe £100.
Maybe £100. Yeah.
But there should be a maximum wage. Honestly.
Yeah.
If there was a maximum wage, right, it would
balance out society more.
Exactly, it balances things out a little bit. You know, it makes us a little bit more equal. Not. You know, I think the problem is with today, you've got 5 different wealths. Like, you got middle class, and then you got the rich, and then you got the poor. But then you got the super poor and the super rich.
Yeah. But in all honesty, I think you got the poor, the working class, the middle class that is slowly shrinking and becoming just like the working class, if you see what I mean, and then the upper class. Because when you really analyse it today, you'll see that a lot of the middle class families that were starting to get on the ladder and starting to grow and